So as I continue my journey in the book of Acts, in Acts chapter 5, you see the first act of church discipline. Ananias and Sapphira were struck dead by God because of their hypocrisy and lying to the Holy Spirit. And that didn't cause the church to stop growing. As a matter of fact, the church continued to grow, and non-believers respected the Christians, and they were not there to join because of what had occurred with Ananias and Sapphira. In Acts chapter 6, we see the first dispute among the Christians. You had Hellenist Jews versus native Jews. Hellenist Jews were basically Jews who adopted Greek culture, and the native Jews a lot of times didn't feel like those Jews were true Jews because of their because of the Greek culture they adopted to. And then those Hellenist Jewish Christians felt like their widows were being ignored when compared to the native Jews. So they brought up the issues to the apostles, and the apostles were basically saying, hey, listen, our devotion, our commitment is spreading the word. You guys need to figure this out. As the church, you guys need to elect, I believe, 6 members among you to solve this issue. And they elected 6 members. One of those 6 members was Stephen, who later we'll find out, was the first Christian martyr. Elected those 6 members to govern or to solve that issue. And immediately, unanimously, they agreed, and the issue was resolved, and everybody was pretty much happy. And that kind of made me wonder a little bit how great the first generation Christians were. I mean, they were living in one accord. Whenever there was a dispute, which we see in Acts chapter 6, they solved it immediately. I mean, because they just had love for one another, and they cared for one another. Just because you have love for one another, that doesn't mean you're not gonna have issues. That doesn't mean you're not gonna have disagreement. The key is, how are you gonna resolve that issue? How are you gonna come into agreement with one another? Because we're brothers and sisters in the church. And looking to our churches today, especially starting with myself, we are hypocrites. I mean, when we look to how the church is being run, or how we as believers conduct ourselves in churches, we're just hypocrites. I mean, we go to church, we shake each other's hands, we smile at one another. Hey brother, how you doing? Hey sister, how you doing? Nice seeing you, brother. But bro, it's a lot of times it's pure hypocrisy. I mean, we can't even spend 5 minutes talking to one another and just say, hey brother, how you doing? Tell me, how's your family doing? What's going on? What can I do to help you? How can I pray for you? I mean, some of us, including myself, we won't even do that. And compared to the first generation Christians, man, they would sell their property just so other believers can have food on their table. I mean, that's how great they were, how they used to live in one accord. I mean, today we go to church, we don't even know that the believer that's sitting behind us, house just went into foreclosure, or the believer that's sitting in front of us just lost his wife to cancer, or the one that's by my side that I just shook my hand with, that I just said hi to, this guy got diagnosed with heart disease, and they're just putting on a fake smile. And as the church is supposed to be a safe haven for believers. We should be able to go to church and feel comfortable with one another. We should be able to go to church and be at peace, because this is our home, this is our brothers, this is our sisters. I don't care if you're a stranger, if this is if I never met you, but because we're at church, I should be at peace with you, you know? And yet, even the preacher who's supposed to be the shepherd of the church doesn't even know what we're going through. And I know it's hard and for pastors to know what everyone is going through in the church. But shouldn't that be the point? I mean, like the apostles did, they told the church to elect members among them to solve the issues. Shouldn't associate pastors, co-pastors, I mean, now you have worship pastors, you have ministry pastors, we have deacons. Shouldn't the church be aware of what's going on with their members? Have we lost our first love? I mean, what would Christ say to our churches today? To your church, what would Christ say to your church? Let's think about that for a second.